coaches, welcome back to another Modern Soccer Coach Breakdown. This week we're going to take a look at different ways you can press in a 4-3-3 against a variety of opponents. Of course, in today's game there are going to be different pictures tactically that you're going to have to face. So in the breakdown we're going to look at how you can do that in different ways, but keep the consistency of the 4-3-3. If you want the information for these videos and you want the breakdown, you want to look at it a bit closer, you can get them for free on the link below. Plus, we've got a special offer, 10% off Modern Soccer Coach press and exercises. If you're looking at working on this on the training pitch, 10% off. The link is below. Please also give it a like, and if you want to see more of these breakdowns, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss them. Alright, 4-3-3 press, and let's go. Alright, so we always start these videos off with objectives. I think the objectives for pressing effectively as a collective, as 11 in a system, I think first of all, individual roles and responsibilities, which we'll try and outline in these videos. The second of all is understanding triggers, timing, when to go. It's not just a case of starting on the specific player you're marking, because there's a great Klopp quote where if you stand beside and mark the player, they're obviously going to bypass you and go into different spaces. So you want to make sure that the distances are not too small, that they bypass you, but not too big, that you won't have enough time to close the player down effectively. Another key pressing objective is, of course, the ability to sustain the pressure and intensity of it. If you're looking for more ideas, again, we've got a link below for some ideas around that on the training pitch. And then the last one is an understanding of what your opponent is doing. So the ability to see and read the game. Maybe you're getting help from that with the coach on the sideline. Maybe you're getting help with that with a little bit of analysis and a little bit of scouting. And then trying to communicate that effectively with the team. You can do it in video. You can do it in training. You can also do it in units. So there's different ways to train it, but the objectives that we're going to work on here are those setup, those roles, responsibilities for each picture against a certain formation. Again, if you want the breakdown of these, you can get them for free on the link below. Okay, 4-3-3, let's go. Alright, so the first one we're going to look at is a simple one. It's against another 4-3-3. And the first thing we're going to do is get the basics right. So the basics for me is to get the lines ready so that you're in a position to manage those distances that I talked about. So in this one, it's pushing the 9 forward and high to split the centre backs. You're matching a 3v3 up in midfield by dropping the number 8 back a little bit. That keeps a +1 at the back. Now, there's two options that you have here when you're pressing against a 4-3-3. The first is that the number 9 can move across on the first pass to the centre back. Then they can pressure at an angle. That allows them to keep the ball on one side. You're asking the number 7 and the number 11 to hold their position initially in that inside channel. That's to block the passing lane, and then at the same time invite the pass to the red fullback. Then once the pass is played, that 11, that number 7 can sprint out and press the fullback, and then their teammates all shift across to compact that area, make it an area of high pressure where hopefully you can win the ball. Another option against a 4-3-3 is a little bit different. Again, this time the 9 splits the centre back, invites the pass to either one, but this time the 7-11, yes, they start in that inside channel, but now they're poised to press from out to in and take away the pass to the fullback. So their angle of pressure here is really, really important. The weak side 7-11 can also come inside and take away the pass to the centre back. Now the centre back in possession is running out of options. You've got the 8 and the 10. They're also ready to step forward and pressure inside. And the number 9 can press the goalkeeper or help the 7-11 pressure the ball. Hopefully win the ball in that final third, and then you've got a great transition picture to go to goal. Alright, this time it's against a 3-5-2. You've got the 7, the 9, the 11. They'll all match up against the back 3, but again, make sure those distances are correct so you invite the pass to the defender and you can press it. The 8 and the number 10 will match up with the opposition double 6s, with the number 6 then dropping further behind and marking the opposition number 10. Centre backs mark the opposition centre forwards in a 2v2 situation, but you've also got those 2 and 3. They'll start centrally, so they can prevent that invitation straight into the 2v2. They can provide a little bit of cover for their centre backs, and they're also in a position to jump out to the wing backs and pressure that ball if it looks to go there. It's probably going to travel a distance, so if your number 2, your number 3 are ready to jump out, they can win that ball, read that ball, and then again you've got a really, really good picture in transition with the 7, the 9, the 11 all central and a position to go to goal. Alright, the next one we'll look at is against a 4-4-2 box midfield, and this can be difficult because of the central overload. So again, with a box midfield, you've got the 2 holding midfielders, you've also got 2 attacking midfielders, and you've got 2 centre forwards. So to try to manage that, we're going to move the 7 and the 11 to the edge of the box to cover the opposition centre backs, and we're going to ask the number 9 in this one to drop back into midfield so they can help match up with the 6, the 8 and the 10. You've got your 2 and your 3 are going to start a little bit higher, and they're positioned to jump out to the opposition fullbacks. But similar against the 3-5-2, they also want to manage those distances so they can help the centre backs against that 2v2 if needed. If the ball goes wide, the 2 and 3 can then step out. The weak side then must shift across to help provide that +1 for the centre forwards against that box midfield with the number 10s coming as well. So this one, you're trying to get them to one side, and then you're trying to restrict the box midfield, that central overload, restrict their ability to switch the play, restrict their ability to create that numerical advantage in midfield, and then again, hopefully win the ball in the final third and transition to goal. Alright, the last one we'll look at, and again, if you want the breakdown for all of these and you want to have it on file, you can get it for free on the Modern Soccer Coach website. I'll put the link in the description below. The last one we're going to look at is a traditional 4-4-2, a flat 4-4-2. Now, this one looks a little bit easier, but it's actually a little bit more difficult because of those 2 wide players. So this one, we're going to move the number 9 and the number 10 onto the edge of the box. So it almost looks as if we're pressing in a 4-4-2. The number 8 and the number 6 are going to match up against the opposition central midfielders. The number 2 and the number 3 are going to start higher, and they're going to be positioned to jump out to those wide midfielders in that 4-4-2. And then you've got the 4 and the 5, again matching up 2 for 2 against the opposition centre forwards. If the ball goes wide, again, you're looking at those 2 and those 3s to being aggressive and stepping out. But again, a little detail, get that weak side to shift across and help provide cover for the centre backs if they need that in that space against those 2 centre forwards. So again, trying to restrict that 4-4-2 from, instead of the box creating that central overload, now you're trying to manage wide overload. So you're going to need the 2 and the 3 working with that 7-11 effectively to try and manage those spaces, and again trying to win the ball higher up the pitch and transition to goal. So there you have it, coaches, just some ideas around variations of 4-3-3 pressing pictures. Definitely the last 5 years we've seen more flexibility in possession. That's also going to make it a lot more challenging to press. I think what used to be is the Team X play this way, and you could nearly keep that consistency for a whole season. But now, I think if you're playing 5 opponents, you're going to be faced with 5 different pictures. And then also, you're going to face 5 different types of rotations, perhaps. So we didn't put rotations in here, but if you would like to see some pressing rotations, how to manage those spaces with some more movement, just subscribe, give it a like, and we'll do one of those in the near future. I think it's critical that whenever you're training pressing, that you're working on different types of variations against the opponents, trying to overload different situations, overload different areas of the pitch, and then showing players where those overloads are trying to occur. The 4-4-2 is the simple one, right? You've got the overload with the box in the centre, so you're going to have to manage those central areas. That's quite similar for a 4-2-3-1, but then a 4-4-2, a flat 4-4-2, those overloads are going to be in wide spaces. That could be if they're playing a 4-3-3 and those 8s and those 10s are breaking out as well. So I think scouting is definitely something that has helped us as coaches, But I think as well as that, training methodology that can provide different pictures can be a huge advantage when players are going on the pitch and something might happen that you haven't prepared for tactically. I think as a coach, it's great having that half time to break something down and discuss and explain and share and talk. But it's even better if the players are comfortable in seeing something and having the ability to solve that as a group or as a unit, and then communicating that on the pitch. It's really, really effective if a group of players are used to that and have the skill to do that there in live time. Saves you maybe 45 minutes, and then that half time, maybe you can deal with other ways to support the team. So just some ideas around that. Again, if you'd like some more ideas on different types of pressing system, just put the system that you're looking at below in the comments, and I'll definitely take a look at that in one of the future Modern Soccer Coach breakdowns. Please don't forget, before you leave, please don't forget to like, please don't forget to subscribe, and please don't forget to check out the special offer in the comments below. Thank you for all your support. I will see you next week. Goodbye.